All right, well, it's time now for Focus, and today we're going halfway around the world to report on trouble in a tropical paradise. Well, French Polynesia has been a semi-autonomous French territory since 1843. And its president, Gaston Flosse, is serving his fifth term, but he's also facing not one, but two separate court cases. Well, this isn't the first time the 83-year-old has been in trouble with the law, yet his popularity remains high. France 24's Jenny Briffa reports.
Tahiti, a little piece of paradise in the South Pacific, 17,000 kilometers from Paris. The archipelago is a semi-autonomous French territory with its own president and government, and one strongman, Gaston Flosse, known as the Old Lion. Involved in politics for the past 40 years, he's been a member of the French Parliament, a senator, and has spent a total of 18 years as the president of the local government, all while remaining very popular. For the past 15 years, Flosse has faced legal troubles. His name has appeared in dozens of cases involving corruption, influence peddling, embezzlement of public funds, and more. Alex Duprel knows Flosse well. The politician took him to court several times for defamation. For the past 25 years, Duprel has been the editor of Tahiti's only independent paper, and the Old Lion has often made the front page. Last summer, Flosse was declared ineligible by a court for 3 years. His latest wrongdoing, fictitious jobs.
The presidency of French Polynesia, in other words, the presidential palace, employed about 600 people. Well, the lower court ruled there were 162 fictitious jobs there. But on appeal, that number was brought down to about 40.
Despite being ineligible, the 83-year-old still holds a lot of sway over local politics. Thanks to his party's victory in the last elections, his allies control the government and the local assembly, a place where his name is still mentioned during debates.
Le texte était clairement un texte fait sur mesure pour la personne de Monsieur Gaston Flosse.
Despite having no elected office, Flosse asked to be interviewed in the assembly in the office of its president, a young politician that owes his success to Flosse. During filming, the Old Lion openly gave his protege instructions on who to appoint in the various parliamentary committees.
Instead of her, you should appoint someone loyal in the Law Commission.
After 4 decades in power, his influence is still undeniable, built on years of electoral success. Despite his legal troubles, voters overwhelmingly voted for him 2 years ago.
I was given a heavy sentence in February 2013. The elections took place just 2 months after the sentence. But voters decided to put this problem aside, and they re-elected me as the leading candidate.
The reason for his unwavering popularity is obvious on the streets of the local capital, Papeete, especially in this underprivileged neighborhood. Here, 30% of the population lives under the poverty line. Like her parents and grandparents before her, Ileana Turomona has always voted for Flosse, despite his legal troubles.
It's none of our business. It's his personal problem.
What matters then? That he takes care of the people?
Yes, exactly. People live in poverty, and they have for a while.
Many people in the neighborhood think the same, like this young woman who regularly volunteers in Papeete, a city run by a longtime Flosse ally. She recently joined Tahurea, Flosse's party, in the hopes of getting a job.
I'm still hoping. I've been a volunteer for a while now, so who knows? Maybe one day I'll be a minister.
You really believe that?
Yes, I've run alongside the mayor of Papeete. Who knows, maybe a minister. You never know.
In Tahiti, she's far from the only one believing party membership comes with a job. At the local employment agency, the young unemployed are counting on assisted contracts created by Flosse, a campaign promise that he managed to implement before losing his mandate, and that brought him a lot of support in French Polynesia, where unemployment is twice as high as in mainland France. Though these jobs are completely legal, separatist unions have always opposed the idea.
These are elected politicians using territorial funds, public funds, for their own political and electoral gains, and it's been that way since 1995.
The 90s were Flosse's glory days. He had a complete grip on power, an intelligence service, and a security force in charge of watching political opponents as well as journalists. Members of this special task force are now under investigation for the kidnapping and murder of journalist Jean-Pascal Courreau. At the time, Jacques Chirac was the French president, a key factor in understanding the situation, according to this expert.
Back then, that's when most of the excesses took place, like the creation of a local surveillance task force to trace political opponents. These were things that should not have existed in a territory of the French Republic. But the Republic didn't say anything. So the French state does have some responsibility. There's no doubt about it.
During those years, Flosse even backed the controversial restart of nuclear tests in the Pacific wanted by his friend President Chirac. These days, courts may be more willing to challenge the old lion, but Flosse hasn't given up just yet. In 3 years, he'll be able to run again and could launch one last campaign at the age of 86.